Alright, this is a quick tutorial on how to do a do-while loop in a C++ console application, Win32 console application. Sorry about that. This isn't going to be anything crazy, just a pretty straightforward, very similar to the while loop. You'll just see the simple difference between a while loop and a do-while loop. So really quick, I'm just going to create a new project called do loop. And I'm just going to uncheck these because they're not really necessary. And it's going to build my new project, and there we go. Pretty quick, pretty nice. Much better than if you've been in some other videos. So, alright, so first thing we need to do for our C++ application, we need to include our IO stream. And we need to include our namespace as well for being able to read and write to the application. Write header files, classes, class libraries. So that's what those two files do for us. Alright, so like in their while loop video, I'm just going to declare a counter, and I just assigned it to 0 at this time. And like any declaration, you need to do the data type and then give it a variable name, and optionally an assignment. In this case, I called it my integer counter, and I assigned it the value 0. So okay, so first things, you typically notice that when you do a while loop, you always do the while first, and then your conditional statement, right? And then you would have your Boolean statement here, but actually, it's a little bit backwards in the sense that you actually say do, you make your curly braces, and while, and we're going to say counter is less than 10. And then you have your semicolon at the end. And this is kind of looks much different than if you did just a regular while loop. Your while loop here would actually be up there, but instead, without the do obviously, but instead it's down here. So, and if you're wondering how I did that, all I did is I just highlighted and dragged and dropped. So nothing fancy. All right, so the difference between a do and a while loop. Well, first things we'll notice here is let's say while counter is while counter is greater than 1. Let's do that really quick. So let's do while counter is greater than 1, cout. This is printed in our do while loop. And we'll do an end line. And we'll do counter plus plus because we want the counter to increase in this. So first things first. Alright, so what this literally says is do the statement in between these curly braces here. So it's going to do these first, and it'll say while this condition is true. This Boolean condition is true, and Boolean is a shorthand statement for true or false. So basically, it's going to carry out this procedure, and then it will check if this condition is true. If it is true, it'll continue to do the procedure in between the curly braces until this statement is no longer true, until it is false. Alright, so I could say count, or cout this statement, so it's going to print this statement into the console, and then it'll end line and we'll increase our counter. So let's just check that out really quick. And we can see that this is it says this is printed in our do while loop, and we can see that this works pretty simply. There's nothing fancy to it. So so there you go. So, but what if we said while counter, let's say while counter was less than 2, because the counter will be equal to 1 when it gets here. So for simplicity, so it printed it out twice, right? Because what it did is it said, okay, I'm entering here, I need to carry out this procedure, so I will print this line and it will increase by 1. So now I am equal to 1. Counter is equal to 1. And then it'll check this statement and say, well, is counter less than 2? Well, yes it is, so continue out this mission. So it will then go back to this line and print out the line. It'll increase the variable counter by 1, so counter will now be equal to 2. Is counter less than 2? Well, no, because 2 is equal to 2, but it's not less than 2. So this statement is now false, and it will exit our do-while loop. And a little bit you can see really quick where this differs is that I can say while counter is greater than 1, cout, this is, need double quotes, printed in the normal loop and line. And actually I'm going to reset the counter here so that it's equal to 0 when it gets back down here. And I'm going to say while counter is less than 2, I'm going to say while counter is less than 2. So let's mark the differences here of what happens. So, okay. So in here, nothing different happened, right? So nothing happened here, or nothing different happened. It was the exact same, right? It went through the do-while loop, and it went through our normal loop and our do-while loop, and the same thing happened. An interesting thing to note here is, what if I didn't? What if this was equal to 1 and this was equal to 1? Now what's going to happen? Oh, they still printed out the same, right? Oh, what if I set this equal to 0 and this equal to 0? Oh, we still did our do loop, but we didn't do our while loop. So this statement here was false, but this statement here and this statement here was false. They both are the exact same statement. Sorry about that. But instead, a do while will actually go ahead and do the statement first, and then it'll realize that, oh, I need to check my condition, and oh, that condition is false. So yeah, that's just kind of a quick little dirty difference between the two. It might be a little extended past what some of you are used to, but I urge you to kind of realize the strong difference. A lot of people implement this when they mean to actually do this, or sometimes vice versa, but a lot of times people wanted to do a condition initially and then check the condition of the code. So, alright, and that concludes this video.